In the gospel, Jesus talks about the cross. Well, let me be real clear. Jesus did not have to die on the cross. He chose to, for us. So when he says in the gospel that we are to take up the cross and follow him, he's not meaning that all the woes of life are crosses to bear. People are like, oh, my back pain, that's just my cross to bear. Or that cranky neighbor, oh, that's just my cross to bear. No. When Jesus says, take up your cross, he's asking us to do some kind of action. Do something that we know is the right thing. Even if it means that we're going to suffer for it. Or even if it means we get crucified for it. Now, there's an author, is Father James Martin. He's a Jesuit, just like the Pope. There's a collection of his writings called The Essential Writings of James Martin. It's a wonderful book. Well, in there he talks about 3 elements that are good for good living. So what I've done is kind of take those 3 elements and kind of change them a bit so they apply to us in how we can carry the cross, take up the cross. So I've got some of you here to help me with that. Number 1, read that out.
You are not God.
You are not God. Because many of us think that, we are the ones in control. That we're all supposed to be on top of everything, that we've got to make sure everything is going right, but none of us are God. We don't have to be. We can let go more. And in that letting go, many times there's just a big burden that's released. For many people, they can be a little bit more calm and humble. It's also going to make the people you live with less crazy. If you stop acting like you're in control or that you are God. Second one. This is not heaven. Now, this could be anything. I mean, we've got a great parish, We've got a wonderful day like today, but this is not heaven. And many times we get so upset because we want people and we want things to be perfect. We get upset when our kids do something goofy. We get so upset because our lawn doesn't look perfect. We get upset because the government's not perfect. Or even the church system is not perfect. But it's not meant to be. This is not heaven. Heaven is to come. And again, for us, we could relax a little bit. Let go. Calm down. Third thing.
Don't be a jerk.
Don't be a jerk. It's amazing because it just seems that kind of rudeness is kind of contagious now. It just seems like it kind of expounds itself. I mean, the way that on social media you can just blast somebody and, not have any consequences. Or we see politicians yelling at each other, or people driving, they're getting so angry with each other. Well, for us, that's not how we're meant to be as Christians who follow Christ. So in a way to help you not be so much of a jerk, I've got 3 things for you. Number 1 is simply to think well of that other person. Think that they have good intentions. So many times we go right to the default is to say, they're out to get me. I know they hate me. That's the reason she said that. That's the reason he did this. And maybe it has nothing to do with you at all. They're just having a hard day. Maybe they're just cranky. It's not you. Or let's say somebody ignores you. And you're thinking, she hates me. I know it. It's that maybe they just didn't see you. Or they didn't notice you. But so many times what happens is that we think bad of people. Now, this even happens in families. Because what can happen is some of you kids, especially you teenagers, somehow you think that your parents wake up every day and they say, oh, how can I ruin their life today? I know I'll make this rule. I know I'll do this. No, parents don't do that at all. They are trying to act in your best behavior, your best interest. And so for some of you kids, give your parents a slack, would you? As opposed to always arguing with them or always doubting their judgment. No, they're trying their best. St. Ignatius once wrote, every good Christian ought to be more eager to put on a good interpretation on their neighbor's statement rather than condemn it. Second thing, avoid attacking someone you disagree with. It's so easy. Someone thinks different than you in politics or worldviews or religion, and so many times we want to go on the attack of that person. This happens especially even in families. People will say such cruel things to people they're close to. For example, the statement, I just didn't care for that hot dish, is different than, you're a lousy cook. I mean, so many times we go right for the jugular, like we want to put them down. I see this too often in marriages, that people will attack the other person, as opposed to just being honest with their own feelings. You know, like saying a statement, say, I feel this, or I think this. Now, you can't say, I feel you're a lousy cook. No, you can't do that. But it's more about you. Whenever you are saying something and you use the word you in it, that you're probably attacking somehow. You do this, you do that. Now, say, I feel, or I think. Own yourself. And indeed, we're called to be more gentle with one another. Third thing, start looking at others the way that God would view them. So many times what happens is we have that difficult person who's on our team, or that we work with them, or a neighbor, and right away we can only focus on their negative traits. But start looking at them as God looks at them. Bigger picture. God is in love with everyone. In love. And many times what we got to do is just start looking at the big picture. We may not like this trait or that attitude, but in the big picture, it's got a lot of potential. Start thinking of them or looking at them differently. Now, St. Paul said in that second reading, you just heard it, that we are to live in God through Christ. Which means we are invited to use the example of Christ and how to live. And if you ever doubt that, just imagine, okay, if Jesus were here, what would he do, or how would he respond? Because all of us, we know what to do. We're invited to take up the cross, to follow Christ. We know how to become better people. So just do it. We know how to become better parents, better children, better spouses, better friends, better neighbors, better Christians. And many times we say, well, I don't. No. Take up your cross. Do the right thing. Even if it might get you into trouble, do the right thing. Jesus said, when you lose your life, which could mean lose that attitude, lose that ego, lose that impatience, lose that crankiness, lose that need to be perfect or need to be in control. Just lose it. Start being different. As Jesus says, when you lose your life, you're going to find it.